Harley, happy
if we
birthday.
didn't share this desk, it looks like I'm in a different room.
Snowball, there's no one there. Snowball.
Oh, kind of does.
Who is Snowball?
Oh,
A lot of regret.
she won't stop. It's my boyfriend's parents' dog.
So I'm still confused on the living situation. You live with Hunter and his parents?
No,
Just Hunter.
just Hunter.
Or just
But
his
we're-
parents.
I'm staying at his parents' house right
I've
now.
done that before. I lived with Janelle's parents while we were
There's
together.
nothing to
but
be
she
ashamed
was
of.
not
It's
there.
fine. I mean, if his parents are cool,
Snowball.
Janelle's parents are cool.
they are cool.
Actually, I got to take him another camera today. So I'll be seeing him
Why?
in, when we're done with this.
Shoot. No, don't do that.
I need to see what she's barking at.
Killing me, cat.
Probably that ghost in the corner.
Why you bark? Come on.
All right. I think we're about ready. I'm going to zoom in just a hair. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Is that good? Oh.
So good. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
This is the Always More podcast.
Hello and hello. It is November 16th, and welcome to the Always More podcast, where we believe there is always more room at the table for honest questions, meaningful conversations, and deeper understanding. Today on the pod, we are talking about elves, stinky scientific discoveries, gay police, seeing cars, the 2022 World Cup with Aaron Flynn, and so much more. But first, I am your host, Tim Lichty, and sitting next to me is my best friend and expert in all things anime and zombies, Christopher Ford.
Weirdly enough, though, I know nothing about animes about zombies.
Oh, well, maybe you
They
should
exist.
catch up.
I have no idea what's going on in that world.
All right, well,
The two things separate, yes. Together, no. It's not going to work.
and joining us from the supposed state of Kansas, the greatest Gen Zer to ever Z, that is Harley Bianco.
It's not a real place.
You have still yet to
That's
prove
me.
to us that it is a real place, Harley.
I think she's just avoiding us. Like, she still lives here. She just doesn't want to hang out with us anymore.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? That'd be kind of crazy.
Just like bump into each other at Walmart, like, yo, I thought you were gone.
You look just like my friend Harley.
Adopt a different
You're like,
accent
no,
to pretend
no,
you're
it's not
someone
me.
else. Weird. Who is this Harley you speak of?
Start speaking with like an accent.
Oh.
I do it.
All right, well, Harley, welcome back. We had a week without you, but you're with us again.
Yay!
We're excited. This is our new normal. Hopefully, as time goes by, we're going to upgrade some camera work and some. I think the audio is going to be good, but if not, we'll work on it.
If not, we can all blame Tim.
Yeah, blame me.
Yeah. It's always Timothy's fault.
It's always
Mostly because he
A
does
white man.
everything.
All right, on that note, let's move into this thing because we got ourselves a busy show today. As I mentioned earlier, we have a special guest joining us, Aaron Flynn, a good friend of ours, and we're excited to talk about the World Cup with him. But before that, let's get into some our Rec and Revs. This is the part of the show where we like to recommend and review things for you to check out. Chris, what do you have for us?
All right, so mine is another Stephen Moffat show. And I didn't know it was a Stephen Moffat show like Doctor Who and Dracula that I've already talked about.
Mm-hmm.
I just watched the show and I was like, oh, I really like this show. And then the credits rolled and I was like, oh, yeah, that explains
That makes
it.
sense, yeah.
Like, I mean, he uses all the same actors, so like seeing those actors,
yeah.
I was like, this feels familiar, but it is what it is. This show is called Inside Man. It is on Netflix, and 100% of the reason I watched it is Stanley Tucci.
Oh.
Stanley Tucci can do no wrong in my eyes. He has never played a character that I did not like. Even in shows and movies that I did not enjoy, he was the best part of those shows and movies.
Did you watch The Lovely Bones?
No, I haven't seen that. He's in that?
He was definitely the murderer and the rapist.
Well,
in that.
spoiler alert.
So, oh,
Jeez.
And everybody knows the premise of the movie. That's not. Don't do that to
Apparently
me.
Kristen.
Anyways,
I didn't, but
it's
I'm
from
gonna
like
watch it.
2000.
I'm gonna watch it later. Stanley Tucci's in it. I'm sold. Look, you give me a movie with Stanley Tucci, Anne Hathaway, like I can't. The Devil Wears Prada was probably one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah.
Anne Hathaway, Meryl Streep, Stanley Tucci. Those are like three of my favorite actors, and they were all in that one movie. So I was sold. Anyway, back to this show.
yeah.
So this is kind of like a murder investigation, weird detective series episode. So it stars Lindsay Marshall, Louis Oliver, David Tennant, Stanley Tucci, Dolly Wells, Lydia West, all kinds of really cool actors. David Tennant plays a pastor that gets himself into a precarious situation in England. Stanley Tucci is a criminology professor on death row himself for the murder of his wife in America. And the two stories like start off completely separate, and then by the end of the season, they're like clashed together in a weird way. And it's a really cool. Like I don't want to give anything away because it's like it's all about the detective side of figuring out stuff. But he's like a genius when it comes to figuring out crime, but he's on death row. So people come to him while he's on death row and they're just like, hey, this is my situation. And he's like, oh, here's the answer.
Wow.
And they're like, cool, do you need anything? And he's like, yeah, I mean, not to die would be cool. So it is what it is.
Kind of get a cake
But
and not to die.
Definitely a great show. I would suggest it. It's only 4 episodes. They're like an hour long each, and it's on Netflix.
Dope.
Nice.
All right, Harley, what do you have?
So mine is called My Policeman.
Of course, you come in with Harry Styles. That sounds about right.
Anyways,
What is it with Gen Z and
As
Harry
you-
Styles?
Yeah.
what is what?
So what is it with Gen Z and Harry Styles?
Have you seen the guy?
Is that even his real name?
Yes.
I don't think so. I'm gonna.
I mean,
Google
as
it.
far as I know, I can't confirm or deny that. Okay, so basically, obviously, it has Harry Styles in it. But the movie description says a beautifully crafted story of forbidden love and changing social conventions. My Policeman follows 3 young people: policeman Tom, Harry Styles, teacher Marion, Emma Corrin, and museum curator Patrick, David Dawson, as they embark on an emotional journey in the 1950s in Britain. Not gonna spoil it. Pretty good. It was very like, it was just very thought provoking because I wonder how common of a relationship debacle that was back then. If you couldn't already tell by the spoiler in the intro, Gay Police.
That's kind of given in the trailer,
Obviously,
though, right?
that is what. Huh?
That's kind of given in the trailer, though, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Okay, because I picked
So,
up on that.
You can just tell there's like a triangle
Yeah.
going on there, and yeah,
not the
so
way
you
it
just,
usually
it
does.
just makes you think.
Yeah.
So, fun fact: it is
Yeah.
Harry Styles' real name, and also we have the same birthday.
Oh, fun.
Wow.
Yeah, he was born
How does that make you feel?
2 years after me. I truly don't care, but he was born 2 years after me, February 1st, 1994. So he's 28.
Oh, what do you know?
Wow. So it's gonna be Happy Harry and Chris Day.
No, ma'am, it's just Happy Chris Day. You don't know Harry personally.
Wow.
Hey, I know Harry in my heart. Okay.
Interesting. You know, it actually.
Anyways, yeah.
It reminds me of The Imitation Game. You ever watch that?
Yeah,
Benedict.
that one is one that I can only watch once.
Yeah,
But
Benedict Cumberbatch. He was the sole creator of the what do you call it? Basically, the computer.
He called it Christopher.
Sorry,
He called it Christopher.
he called the computer Christopher.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember that. Yeah, he was a gay man who basically helped the Allies break the German Enigma code, and by doing so, he created a computer the first computer, but he was gay, which was obviously during that time in Britain, I believe, illegal, and so it resulted in a lot of shitty things for him. So
He had to be chemically castrated.
yeah. So
Jeez, how old is that?
the movie,
2014.
Yeah.
Yeah, he played
okay.
Alan Turing, and it also had Keira Knightley in it.
yeah, it was a really good movie.
Fun fact, that's where the term Turing test comes from. If you're testing an AI to see if it is a person or an AI, it's called a Turing test.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Well, I do.
All right, yeah.
I do want to check out My Policeman. That does look like a fun film with Harry.
It's very.
I say fun. I'm excited to see Harry.
Senor Styles.
Yeah.
It like what's crazy is he was such a good actor in it that it made me like want to punch him in the face,
Well, that's good.
and I was like, "Dang,
Or
Yeah.
spit
that's
in his
good
lap.
acting." So, it's and I think it's. I don't know if it's in theaters right now, but I know it's on Prime Video. That's where I watched it.
Gotcha.
I have that.
Sit in his lap. Is that what you said?
I said spit in his lap.
Oh, I see what you
Like
did
the
there.
thing with him and Chris Pine.
Yes,
I don't know what that was all about, but
And Tim's like, that was kind of
it's kind of sus.
I mean, you do you, bro. But
I mean, we're talking about gay policemen, so who knows?
all right, moving along. I think I talked about Andor last week. Is that what? Did I talk about that last week? I can't remember what it was.
I can open the doc and tell you.
In case you haven't watched, that is actually not my Rec and Rev of the week, but if you haven't already started watching it, please do. It is probably arguably the greatest TV show to ever exist. It is like, I love The Mandalorian, but this show is something special. It's just wonderful and unique. However,
No, you talked about Black Adam last time.
oh hell, I'm talking about Andor then. Andor, guys, I'm changing everything. Guys,
Changing it on the spot.
I am.
that was the most southern thing you could have said. You said, "Oh hell."
Oh, hell. Possum don't go out in the sweet potatoes again. Get him, mama. Get that possum.
Oh. Oh, okay. Andor, prequel series to Star Wars Rogue One, which is a great movie within itself. In the era filled with danger, deception, and intrigue, Cassian will embark on the path that is destined to turn him into a rebel hero. So, this show with the lead star Diego Luna also has Stellan Skarsgård, who is played by Luthen Rawl. He plays Professor, what's his face in Thor? The main professor guy who's in like all three of them.
Eric.
Yeah,
Selvig.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. That guy. This show is if you're
Seldig, Selbig, Selwig, Selvis, Sauce.
Yeah, one of those.
Thank you.
One of those. If you're not a fan of Star Wars, this is the show to watch. It is. Have you been watching it?
I haven't been keeping up. I watched the first episode, and
I'm
that's
done
that's
with
all
you.
I've had
Okay,
time
look.
for. Bro, no. Don't come at me.
I don't want to hear it, bro.
October is so hard for anime fans to
Don't wanna
watch
hear it.
anything else.
No.
It's so hard.
It's not forgivable. Okay, so Andor.
I didn't even know it was a thing.
Chainsaw Man, My Hero Academia. Like, I cannot keep up. I'm still trying to finish One Piece. Like, I can't keep up with everything.
I don't care.
You will never finish One Piece. It's okay.
I will finish One Piece before Oda finishes writing One Piece, and I will be there for the end. I'll be there at the finale. I'm almost caught up. I'm on like 900 and something. He's only on 1,000 something. I'm catching
Gotcha.
up. I'm there. I'm in Wano right now. I'm in Wano. I know that doesn't mean anything to you, Tim, but right now I am in Wano.
I'm trying to focus on the true Star Wars stuff here. Okay, look. Let me do my Wreck and Rev.
All right.
Let me do my thing.
Sorry.
Andor. It is a Star Wars show that is set within the universe, but looks hardly anything like. There's no lightsabers. There's been
Yeah,
no.
I was gonna say there's like no Jedi.
No
whatsoever.
no Jedi. No blasters. Nothing like that. It is a
There's
purely.
blasters.
Is this?
No. Oh, there is. I guess.
Yeah.
But it's not prominent. It's not very common, and it is one of those shows to where it could be set in the real world and still be
Yeah,
real.
it's more like a espionage detective show kind of thing.
Sort of, yeah. I mean, it truly is. I mean, Star Wars was made in '77 with the Vietnam War in mind. It was made as like this anti-Vietnam War movie of like, okay, let's rethink the Viet Cong, let's rethink what we're doing in Vietnam. And this movie truly kind of excels in like furthering that thought process about what it means to be under an empire, which is extremely relevant today.
Yeah.
And it does it so well. It's so beautifully acted, and the cast is fantastic. Mon Mothma is in the show, and I love the actress who plays her, Genevieve O'Reilly. My God, it is just, it's so good, so good. And
Is this like before Jedi, or like are
no,
they coexisting? It's just
No,
prominent?
it's during the wars, during the Star Wars.
it's in between
right
3
be-
and 4.
I was gonna say it's right before the old trilogy, the prequel, right after the prequels. So like right before Rogue One happens.
Mm.
Oh, okay.
It's the lead
I
up
didn't
to
watch
Rogue
Rogue One because I'm slacking. But
Oh,
You need to watch Rogue One.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the best Star Wars movies out there.
I don't remember the first part of the credits in this show, but
Really?
I think it's 2 or 5 years before Rogue One,
I truly don't know.
but it's in leading up to it.
crazy.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
Okay, yeah, continue.
and that's it. Just I don't want to say any more, but in episodes 8, 9, and 10 has been probably the greatest TV I've seen since Better Call Saul, and it's got
Couldn't get into that.
I can't even tell you. I don't want to
Oh my
spoil
gosh,
anything.
Hunter's watching that.
Better Call Saul.
Oh, it's a good show. Good show.
Yeah.
All right.
So wait.
Yeah.
Hunter's not into Star Wars. So
This would be a
should
good
I just
intro.
tell him to watch this?
He would dig it.
Okay, cool.
He would dig it.
Cool.
Cool. All right. Well, that is our Wreck and Rev, and now it is time for our one of the things that we know people are coming back for.
The thing that they love.
The things that we know you people are listening and waiting for, and
They're- they're only here for Harley and what did I miss?
yes, this is the part of the show where
Nice.
we give you some, presenting you some news that you probably didn't hear about. This week, because we're a little pressed on time, I decided to take it upon myself to provide both of the news stories and just have you guys chime in and talk about how crazy and silly and stupid they are.
I'm sold.
All right.
I joined in without having you people ever heard of. You know?
How crazy and silly
I'm
and
so
stupid
sorry.
these news stories are. It's insane, really.
You know what we need on our streets? More eyes on the road.
I was going to say more visible median lines,
Well, yes, that too.
magnetic median lines that don't let you cross unless your blinker is on. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Googly eyes on self-driving cars reduce accidents, study claims.
Item boxes like on Mario Kart.
A new study from researchers at the University of Tokyo and Kyoto University in Japan had the researchers mount robotic eyes on the front of a golf cart to see if pedestrians would make wiser choices when crossing the street. The purpose of the manually operated eyes was to show whether or not the autonomous system had detected the pedestrian's presence and was
Subsequently,
thank you. God, I can't speak today. I cannot. It's all day. Slowing down or halting. One of the researchers wrote in a published study, quote, if the car is not looking at the pedestrian, this implies that the car does not recognize the pedestrian. Thus, the pedestrian can judge that they should not cross the street, thereby avoiding potential traffic accidents.
Huh.
The results showed that the eyes can reduce potential traffic accidents and that the gaze direction can increase pedestrians' subjective feelings of safety and danger, end quote. The goal was to develop a synthetic alternative to eye contact, which may be a vital tool for drivers and pedestrians to use when overtly potentially hazardous circumstances.
So it's kind of like when you have to feed a panda, you take like the fake panda into the baby panda exhibit so you can feed the baby panda because it trusts the fake panda. It looks like a panda. It's kind of like humans with eye contact. Like you see a car coming, you're like, oh, that's a car. I can beat that car. But if you see a car with eyes, you're like, oh, that car's looking at me. I should make a better decision.
Yeah.
It's like simulated eye contact is like the simulated bear contact, I guess. I don't know.
Sure. That's a wild analogy.
You know,
but
Janelle
yeah.
always says I have the worst analogies, but it makes sense in my head.
Yeah.
Yeah, so essentially, it's like you know when you're at a four-way and you're just like you and someone else come in at the same time, so you kind of look at each other like, okay, you going to go or not? It's that self-awareness of like, okay, go ahead, or like there's.
But it's a person in a car instead of two people.
So
in
the car
Yeah.
is making eye contact with the person.
Yeah, like I want you
Or is
to
it not
literally
eye
imagine
contact?
these big googly eyes on the car. It's literally that.
But they're like robotically controlled.
yes,
That's weird.
and they tested like when the eyes were not looked at. They didn't look at the person would be more hesitant and wait to cross the street. But when it was making eye contact, it was like, okay, you see me, I'm going to cross the road now. And so,
Huh.
yeah, which begs the question, should this be a thing?
No, I don't like it.
Because then that's making him a bit more human, and that makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah, Uncanny Valley is definitely a thing for a reason. And I'm tired of them trying to make everything look more human. Like, eventually we're just going to have a bunch of stuff that looks like people around, and we'll be like, what is this? Oh, this is my person-shaped refrigerator. What about this? This is my person-shaped tiny doorbell.
But
What is this? If you open up the
Tiny
chest,
doorbell.
it's my person-shaped mirror. Like, I don't like that.
But in this case, like especially with like metropolitan areas, you got to think about like a lot of accidents happen like at crosswalks and stuff. Like rural areas are probably not as common, but like it kind of makes sense to have some. Maybe if it's not like human looking eyes, but something to kind of indicate, hey, there's something looking at me. Because now
Do you
that
guys remember?
what?
I'm so
The
sorry.
20?
Do you remember the Chevron stations when they used to have the eyes on the cars? The little
Yeah.
cartoons?
Yeah.
I mean,
If
essentially
it was
that.
something like that, I think I might be more comfortable.
So more
perhaps.
cartoony.
I'm still not feeling it.
Yeah, they're so cute.
I'm not feeling it. Freaks me out.
I mean, with
valid.
self-driving cars, I think it might be a good investment because I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of self-driving cars in the first place yet. Like maybe
Yeah.
20 years,
I don't
20 years
trust
down the
it.
road,
I
but
don't trust it.
yeah, it's still early development, and I just don't trust it yet. But yeah,
The more I read about Elon Musk, the less I want.
Oh,
to
I wouldn't
have
get
a
it from him,
self-driving
but-
Tesla. I used to really
I
want one, and now I'm
literally
like,
go
I
on
can
Yeah.
buy
rants constantly.
anything else.
yeah. I've looked up so many alternatives.
Yeah,
for,
I want an electric car still,
Right.
but not a Tesla anymore.
Do you think if we put googly eyes on purses, then maybe people wouldn't like steal purses?
Ooh,
Because then they'd be like, "Oh, it's looking at me."
that's a solid question.
I
Should we just be putting more googly eyes on everything?
no,
Like,
No, we should
especially
not.
things that you don't want stolen or things that you need to pay attention to?
no, we should not.
I mean, what about like
There was,
construction trucks and stuff like that?
The more you do it, the less effective it's going to be,
How do you know?
because it's just one of those things that we get used to again.
But it's also one. It's like cross. No, see, I don't know about that because it's like lights or like when you cross the street. What do you call it? The lights that you.
The crosswalk light.
Yeah, like
Walk.
we could be totally used to that and totally ignore it, but we don't. We pay attention to it.
Only the people that want to be
No,
safe.
people still ignore it.
I mean, yeah, they
Yeah.
do, but like,
especially on like college campuses.
Imagine
I'm
it with
looking to get hit
googly
by a
eyes.
bus.
I don't know. I think
I look at it with googly eyes.
at least in government and like construction and things. I think it could work out. I think it could.
I
Work.
don't know.
Buses.
Somebody put googly eyes on the book drop at the library.
Look,
I noticed it.
if
I was like, "Oh,
If
there's the
you
book
are-
drop.
You noticed it.
It's staring at me."
if you are serious about this and you plan to write legislation, let me know. I'll invest in whatever company makes googly eyes. But outside of that, like I just don't. I don't think it'd be effective.
Okay. All right. Noted.
I have so little faith in people.
Well, yeah. I might get you
Yeah,
there.
good point.
All right. Next up, last one. We only have two. It's a twofer this week.
Topher.
Hey, Chris.
Twofer.
Science just proved that Uranus stinks.
Well, this is something that I know.
All right, no joke.
Jesus
Uranus,
Christ.
the planet, smells like rotten eggs.
Yeah.
According to a recent research, the seventh planet from the sun possesses a hydrogen sulfide-rich upper atmosphere.
Which smells like.
Yeah.
Rotten eggs. Since hydrogen sulfide is a
Eggs.
gas that mostly comes from sewers and volcanoes on Earth, this explains why some hot springs, which are supplied by geothermal heated water, smell like spoiled food and rotten eggs. The gas is now known to be a prevalent. Let me start that over. The gas is now known to be prevalent in Uranus's cloud tops, according to astronomers. The results, according to the researchers, will will explain how Uranus and its neighboring ice giant Neptune arose. They published their findings in the journal Nature Astronomy in April 23. And according to the researchers, there is probably a more concentrated source of hydrogen sulfide beneath the cloud deck, but it's probably too far away to be seen by telescopes on Earth.
Bummer.
So Uranus sinks.
Again, this is something I know.
So, the sewers thing.
Yeah.
That's. Is it because of all of the trash? That's why we have hydrogen sulfide?
I think it's a
As a
mixture of
gas?
like human waste and
Huh.
I mean,
I just
I
love
don't
that
know the
it's like
science here, but
sewers and volcanoes. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like that's the two common places on Earth where that gas is
It's like
detected.
it occurs naturally
And
and,
then boom.
also man-made.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
I think it's just funny because it's
And
like.
so does that mean
Go ahead.
that how do you is it Uranus? Whatever the
Uranus.
correct pronunciation is.
You
Does
know
that mean
what it
there's like
is.
a crap ton of volcanoes?
I don't know.
You know why.
You like that?
I don't know.
A crap ton of volcanoes.
I don't. I think it's a gas planet, so I don't think so.
What
Yeah.
you're saying is there's a lot of a crap ton of volcanoes in Uranus.
Well, see, this is just funny to me because it's like that was the joke in elementary school,
It's because Uranus sounds like your anus.
right? And so it's like, especially for us boys, anyways, it was like Uranus stinks, and it's like it was just
I'm a man.
in elementary school when we were children.
I've always been a man. I was born a man.
Probably done it in high school too.
Yeah, see, yeah, it's just everyone joked about it. So it's just funny that now, 30 years later, well, I mean, I guess we've known Uranus for a long time. But it's just funny how 20 years later, after we've been out of school, it's like, oh yeah, it actually does stink, and it makes it even more funny, I think.
If only I could tell 5-year-old Chris.
If only you knew, man. If only you knew.
All of your jokes are
You were
going to be
right.
proven true.
Right.
You were 100% correct, sir. You are beyond your time.
Oh, man. All right. Well, guys, on that note, we are going to be done with our main segment. But don't go anywhere because when we come back, we have our special guest to talk about the World Cup with us.
I'm so excited.
Yes. All right, everybody. We will be right back. All right, everybody. Welcome back from our break. Guys, I am excited about this today. It's one of my favorite things.
I'm a little indifferent, truthfully.
Well,
I haven't been following.
you
so
can
it's-
suck it. Guys, this is a special day because we have a special guest with us, and that is our dear friend, is it lifelong? It's half lifelong?
I think because we are going to be friends for the rest of our lives, it's lifelong. I don't
Okay.
think it has to start at the beginning of life.
Right, but doesn't it accumulate for how much time has passed?
I don't know.
Like, is it the majority of our lives? At
I
this
don't. I
point?
don't think it has to be the majority of our lives, but it is at this point.
Right. Anyways, we have our friend of the show and a friend of ours, Mr. Aaron Flynn. What's going on, brother?
What's up, guys? And Harley, sorry.
So glad that you're here with us today. We're talking about soccer. We're talking about the World Cup, and I thought there was no other better expert to have on this show to talk about soccer than Aaron Flynn.
Yep.
How you
I
feeling?
mean, truthfully, they're probably better experts. We just can't afford them,
Oh, no, they're-
100%. 100%.
and we don't like them as much.
Right.
If you want to talk jerseys, I'm probably the best expert y'all can afford.
There you
You
go.
actually probably are. We could have a whole episode just talking about soccer jerseys.
100%.
Just your jerseys.
Yeah, really. Yeah, speaking of, we'll have to give like a special shout out and like a little link in our bio for your jerseys, man, because you got a lot of good stuff. Talk about that real quick for us.
Yeah, I just designed like soccer jerseys, just for random teams. I guess like the highest league I've done is like a Division III. It's called NISA. I did like a jersey for Maryland Bobcats. I did an esports jersey for University of Louisiana Lafayette. Done high school soccer jerseys, jerseys for men's teams, women's teams, and in between teams. So it's been a lot of fun. Oh, I did a jersey for the creator of Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
What?
For
Nice.
his soccer team. Yes.
Dude.
Yeah, that's like the weirdest flex, but I did it.
There's not many other people that can say that.
That's true. Yeah. He gave me permission to use like the characters as well.
Dude, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
So cool. All right, well, hey, we got a packed show. We've already been busy, so let's move into it. Today we're talking about the World Cup, and I wanted to talk about it because I enjoy it, but also it's the first time in 8 years that the U.S. national team is going to the World Cup. In the last cycle in the 2018 at Russia, the U.S. men's team failed to qualify. And so this is a welcome return, a nervous return, I think, but I'm excited about it. Have you guys been paying attention at all to
Not even a little bit. I always get like super involved during the World Cup, and after the World Cup, no involvement whatsoever. I have no idea what's going on. I don't know who's on what team.
Did you just Google FIFA World Cup?
I did. I was gonna see like what the groups are and everything. It's right here.
Yeah. Harley, have you paid attention at all to World Cup ever?
Absolutely not. Ever.
Well, that's what we're here for. We're here to introduce always more to everyone, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so let's just dive into it. I got a few segments to talk about, and we want to give you some information about what is the World Cup and how does it work. So are we ready? Are we all buckled in? Here we go.
Let's do this.
The FIFA World Cup, often simply called the World Cup, is an international association football competition contested by the senior men's national team and women's of the members of the Federation International de Football Association, or known as FIFA, the sport's global governing body. The first ever international football game was a match between Scotland and England in Glasgow in 1872. In 1884, the first British Home Championship, a global competition for nations, was held. Prior to the World Cup debut, the Summer Olympics football competition had the highest level of status. But in the 1920s, the sport was going through a professionalization process that wasn't in line with the Olympic spirit. Therefore, FIFA, which has been in operation since 1904 technically, began making preparations
Good
to
job.
have a World Cup. Thanks.
Bleh, bleh.
I'm going to edit that. It's there. On May 26, 1928, the choice to organize the inaugural edition was formally announced. The first World Cup match was played in Uruguay in 1930, and since then, the competition has taken place every 4 years, with exceptions of world wars. France,
And not even all the time.
right. France, who won their second championship in the 2018 competition in Russia, are the current champions. The current format to select which team advances to the tournament round, the current structure includes a qualification process that took place over the previous 3 years. 32 teams play for the championship during the tournament phase over the course of roughly a month at sites in the host nation or nations. The nation, in this case, is it Qatar or
Qatar.
Okay, because
Yeah,
I've heard
Qatar.
it both ways.
I've
I've heard
heard-
Qatar.
Yeah.
And what's the other one? Like Qatar?
Cutter. Yeah.
Well, it's Qatar.
Okay.
We're just
Okay.
gonna leave it at
Okay.
that.
Okay.
Uh, Also, Tim, I don't know if you know this, but they're changing it to 64 teams the next cycle.
It's not that, but don't say anything else because that's a part of the quiz.
Oh, this got awkward.
Don't say it. Don't say it. Okay,
All
where'd
right,
I go? Qatar. They are hosting, and they get automatic qualification. So when it comes to hosting the World Cup, the FIFA Council currently votes to determine the host nation. This is done through the voting process. And I'm going to skip this whole other part because over the past few years, it's been kind of sketchy with the FIFA Federation.
Here's lots of money. Give it to us.
I was gonna
Yeah,
say it's
bribes.
definitely not voting the
Yeah.
way it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's what it is on
200%.
paper.
Everyone just assumed US was going to get it. And then it was like, oh, look at Qatar with their giant donation
Yeah.
to FIFA.
So, fun fact about Qatar: the Prince of Qatar was in America a couple of years ago, just touring and skydiving and doing all the fun American stuff. And my wife got to cook for him and his entourage.
Wow.
That's cool.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's a fun fact.
Almost
I don't know
scary.
which Prince of Qatar, but a Prince of Qatar.
Well, there you
That's
go.
kind of
Yeah.
cool.
That's pretty neat.
Also, they didn't really eat a whole lot of the food she made, which was more upsetting to her that it just went to waste.
Yeah.
But they loved it. Like, they hired her for the whole week, her and her company that she was working with at the time.
All right.
Tim, you know what makes me mad? Qatar.
France.
Qatar. Yeah, so many things. Qatar, when they like submitted their bid, they said that they promised flying clouds, like
I know.
man-made clouds.
I remember that.
And I don't know where this technology is, but I'm so mad that like we're not one step closer to the Shield helicarrier.
Right. No, look.
Because 100%.
Here's what I'll say about Qatar, because we could dive into the very ugliness that has been happening around Qatar. Long story short, a lot of human rights violations and shady things, which if you would like to Google on your own, you may take the time to do so, but it would take up half the show to talk about it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to celebrate the collection of nations together playing a sport for the for the purpose of unification. However, I will not be celebrating the country itself that is hosting. So,
Yeah.
Fair enough.
guys, you guys ready for a fun little quiz?
A
I
quiz?
did
No.
not study.
All
I
right.
might be able to get first in this.
You might
You
might
would
get
probably win.
this. Okay, it is multiple choice, so don't like try to split
Oh,
up
never mind.
answers.
I'm gonna win.
I will
I'm
still
super good at
lose, and
multiple
that's
choice.
okay.
Okay, I'm
Really, I'll
going to
text you
try
the
to keep
answers.
track here. Are you guys ready?
Let's do it.
Okay,
Okay.
we're going to do this quickly. Number one, prior to the 2022 World Cup, which player is the all-time leading goal scorer in the World Cup history? So like a cumulative over all of the World Cups. Is it Ronaldo from Brazil, Miroslav Klose, I think from
Germany.
thank you, Pele, or Lionel Messi?
Messi.
Think it's close.
Harley?
Because he played forever.
German guy.
German guy.
All right, so we got two for Miroslav and one for Messi.
Yeah.
The correct answer is the German guy.
Ah.
Close.
Yay!
With 16 cumulative
U.S.
goals.
Germany. What?
I took a shot.
You took a
See
shot.
what I did there?
Let's see what you did there. All right, we got 2 points, or 1 point each for Aaron and Harley, and no points for Christoph.
That's fine.
All right, number 2.
Christoph.
What was the largest? What was the largest margin of victory in an international soccer match? 11, 19, 24, or 31?
I know this one. I'll answer last.
Okay, how about everyone at the same time? 3, 2, 1.
31.
31.
31. That's what I was going to say too.
It's like American Fiji or something like that, right?
Nothing can match the 2002 FIFA World Cup qualifying match between Australia and America Samoa, which ended with a
Samoa.
31-0
Yep.
win for the Aussies.
Dang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've
It
seen
makes
highlights of that.
Yeah, it makes that what was it, like last World Cup with America versus was it Thailand, and they won 13-0. It makes it look like nothing.
Yeah.
There's literally almost 3 times that.
Yeah.
If you watch the highlights, like it's really sad.
Yeah.
They just like they've never had
honey.
they've never had a World Cup qualifying team. They don't have an international team, and they pulled their best players from the island. And
Oh.
Australia was like they went to the World Cup that year. I think
Yeah.
it was rough.
Man.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Those
All right.
poor guys.
Number 3. Currently, how many national teams compete in the World Cup? If you were paying attention, you heard the number: 20, 32, 42, or 50.
32.
32.
The correct answer is 32. Good job, everyone. You're paying
Hey.
attention.
Yes.
All right, so Aaron and Harley, you're still up by a point. Number 4. Who was the first player to score at 5 World Cup editions? So who was the first one to do it? Lothar Matthäus, Pele, Ronaldo, or Marta?
Okay, hold on.
And there's male and female mixed.
There we go. I was like, you said Martha, and I was like, I don't know if Pele played 5.
I'm going to say Martha.
Yeah, I think it's.
I'm locking
well,
it
no,
in for the last
hold on.
one.
I'm gonna say Martha, but I don't think so. I
Okay,
think
what's your guess, Harley?
The last one.
Marta. Marta is the first footballer of either gender to score at 5 World Cup editions. She is often regarded as the best female player of all time and was given the nickname Pele in skirts by Pele himself.
I had to think if there
Women.
was even
That-
5 World Cups because I knew it was like a recent thing for Women's World Cup.
Mhm.
So I was trying
That
to think
is
if it was.
both very complimentary and very conceited.
Oh, it's
Yes.
He's like, hey,
100%.
you're almost as good as me. I'll call you me, but in a skirt.
But they don't
Like,
even
haha.
play in skirts.
No,
No,
they don't.
They play in shorts,
They play in
All right.
just like everyone else.
Harley and Aaron still with the lead. Here we go. Number 5. What is the name of Diego Maradona's infamous first goal against England in 1986? I think Aaron knows this one. The Scorpion, Hand of God, Maradona Miracle, or Bend It? I'm gonna let these two go first.
Bend It is the Beckham one,
If you say so.
right?
It's either the first or the third one.
All right.
I'm going to go. Wait, where's this person from? Who is this again?
He is
From
Diego
Argentina.
Maradona. He is Argentine.
I'm going to say the third one.
You said Maradona Miracle.
Yeah.
What are you saying, Harley? There's Scorpion, Hand of God, Maradona Miracle, and Bend It.
I'm going to also go for the miracle.
It's the hand of God.
The correct answer is Hand of God.
He goes up for a header and hits it with his hand.
Yeah, and they didn't catch it until like after the
But
game.
he's one of like the greatest players like of all time. Actually, there's a video of him. You know Salt Bay, the guy that like does the whole
Yeah.
salt thing. There's a video of him sweating profusely,
Yes.
like looking like he's just in pure ecstasy as like he's doing Salt Bay. He's like sweating and like drool. It's phenomenal. It's a great video. Look that up later.
Sounds disgusting.
Delicious.
It's like just an overweight Argentinian guy that's like an absolute legend.
Yeah.
I'm hungry now.
He passed away a couple years ago, didn't he?
He just passed away. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, moving along. Aaron has a 1-point lead over Harley. Harley has a point lead over Chris. So Chris, you're still in last. Number 6.
Thanks.
Which countries went to war partially? You should know this one. Partially over a soccer match. Oh, I gave it away there. Turkey and Bulgaria, Somalia and Ethiopia, Indonesia and Malaysia, or El Salvador and Honduras.
I do know this one.
I know.
My
this
guess is Honduras and El Salvador.
one. I guess it's El Salvador, Honduras
I think I
too.
just-
Because
100%.
I didn't know
I
this
pretty much
one.
just gave it away. Sorry.
That's
I just knew
exactly it.
Somalia doesn't have a soccer team because they're not.
So-
yeah, I don't think they're recognized.
So fun fact.
They're not a formal country.
It was not a war partially over a soccer match.
Well,
it was
because-
100% about the soccer
Let me
match.
read the description. Existing tensions between El Salvador and Honduras coincided with rioting during a 1970 FIFA World Cup qualifier. The ensuing conflict came to be known as the Football War or Soccer War, although the actual causes of the war went much deeper. It wasn't just because of the football game. It was definitely the spark.
Yeah.
You tell them
There was like
telling me-
tensions, and then the soccer game was like, screw it, perfect opportunity. We're going to use
right.
this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's very similar to 9/11 for the Iraq War, I think. Like, it was the one event
Oh, it's the
that gave
catalyst
them the
event.
reason to do
Yeah.
it. Like, obviously, they were like, we need to find a way to get into this country
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
and fight
Let's
this
play
war.
soccer.
Right.
And
Oh,
they're
like the assassination of
rioting?
Franz Ferdinand.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Nice.
The bombing of Pearl Harbor. It's
Um,
weird
yeah.
to put a soccer game on the same level as 9/11, but I did it.
I don't think it's on the
Nation,
same
I'm gonna let
level.
you
It
just
just
say
was a
it.
descriptor.
All right. Number
A lot
7.
more lives were lost.
Which country has won the most World Cups? Germany, Brazil, Argentina, or Italy? Are you cheating?
No, I wish I could cheat. I can't see your screen. I'm like,
All right. Germany, Brazil, Argentina, or Italy? 3, 2, 1.
Brazil.
Do you risk it? Do you hedge a bet, or do you?
I don't know.
Here's the thing, Chris. If you get it right, you catch up to Harley. If we get it wrong,
You're further back, and I don't think you're
It's
gonna come
it's
back.
worth taking. Okay, what were the teams?
Germany, Brazil, Argentina.
Oh
or
my
Italy.
God.
And you guys said Brazil?
Yeah.
I think it is Brazil, though. I'm going to stick with Brazil.
It is Brazil.
Yeah,
with
see?
5
I
World
am
Cups.
so
Germany and Italy
good
have
at this
4.
for not knowing anything.
You're doing really
Same.
good, Harley.
wait, what?
Not know anything. Okay, number 8. Who is the only soccer player in history to win 5 FIFA Ballon d'Or? Is that how you say it? It's French, so Ballon d'Or. It's basically like the
balloon.
biggest like award any soccer player can get.
It's the
Who
Heisman
has-
for soccer players in the world.
Right. So who's the only one to win 5? Pele, Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, or Diego Maradona? I enjoy saying Maradona's name.
I know which one
Is
it
it
is.
Pele?
It's Ronaldo.
Okay.
I'm going to say Ronaldo.
You are all incorrect. The
What?
correct answer is Lionel Messi with 5.
I couldn't remember who got it first, Messi or Ronaldo.
Did you say Messi as an option?
I did.
He
Lionel
did.
Messi.
Both of them have 5 now, right?
No, I think Ronaldo has 4.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but I think he has 4.
Okay.
What about my answer? Does he have any?
You said Pele?
Yeah.
No.
I think he has 2 or 3.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I didn't write it down.
You know what's weird? I have a Pele action figure on my mantle right now at my house.
I'm surprised you haven't picked Pele more often in this game.
Well, he was an amazing soccer player. I understand that. But he didn't play as, like, World Cup-y prevalently as everybody else.
No. All right. Moving along. Number 9.
World Cup-y.
Almost there, guys. Prior to the 2022 World Cup, which goalkeeper has the most saves in a single World Cup match? Gianluigi Buffon from Italy, Lev Yashin from the USSR, Tim Howard from USA, or Manuel Neuer from Germany? Neuer? I don't know. I'm not European.
I think it's the Italian guy. Wait, who's the third guy?
Tim Howard from US.
It's not him.
It's not him.
Oh, I was like,
So
US.
remember, this is most
he's great.
saves in a single game. In a single game, most saves. So it's not like a cumulative. It's just one game. So
I'm gonna go with the USSR guy.
USSR guy?
It's just a shot in the dark.
Harley?
Well, then I'm going to take back my answer and go with the US guy.
Tim Howard? Okay.
It's going to be Tim Howard. I'm going to be so mad.
I'm going to go with the Italian guy.
As much as I love Buffon, it was Tim Howard in the. I'm disappointed you don't remember this, Aaron. In the 2014 World Cup against Belgium, he had 15 saves.
Jeez. I know that there was one thing in my mind was I remember Ghana.
I quit.
They both had a ton of saves. It was insane.
Yeah.
And so that I was waiting for you to say a Ghana goalkeeper, and then you didn't, and I was like, I got nothing.
Yeah.
But I didn't think it was Tim Howard, honestly.
They didn't win the game.
Think it was Tim
No, they
Howard.
didn't win the game. They lost in. It was
2-1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put
All
some
right. That means
respect on
Harley and
Tim's
Aaron
name.
are tied.
He's great.
Yeah, he was great.
Put some respect on it.
All right, here is the last one. Which 3 countries will co-host the 2026 World Cup? So if you know it, you know it. If you don't, you don't. Australia, New Zealand, and Papua New Guinea. South Korea, Japan, and China. U.S., Canada, and Mexico. Or Vietnam, Cambodia, and Thailand.
Australia, New Zealand, and Papua New Guinea.
Okay. Harley?
Thailand, Vietnam.
U.S.,
And all them.
Mexico, Canada.
The correct answer is USA, Canada, and
Dang.
Mexico.
Boo.
They are hosting the
If
next
we're
World
still a
Cup.
country
And all
by
3
then.
automatically qualify.
Yeah.
If we're still a country by then.
That is very true.
We might be 3 of them. No.
The South will rise again.
Oh, no.
Okay. Guys, fun game. Aaron, congratulations. You won at the very end there. It was close, though. Harley, you did really well. Chris, you did okay.
You got the
I
Honduras
know my
question
soccer.
right.
Thank you, Ted Lasso.
I know my
Tasso.
country's history, at least.
Led Tasso.
All right, let's move
He's
along.
going to be, hey, Ted Lasso, Richmond's going to be in the new FIFA.
I saw that, dude. I'm so excited. I got to get it.
What?
But don't worry, they didn't add any of the women's professional teams.
Oh, are you serious? Have they took it out? Didn't they have it
No,
for the last one?
they have the women's national teams, but they don't have NWSL or anything. Because,
Are you sure?
I just downloaded my
I heard
first
it.
FIFA game 2 months ago because it was the free game on PSN.
Was it FIFA 14 or something?
No, it was FIFA 2021, I think.
Oh, okay, that's not too bad.
No.
Well, I'm looking it up.
All right. Well, while you're doing that, we're going to move along to some fast facts and terms. In case you didn't know these things about soccer, because a lot of people don't know these things. No, was it? They're not in it.
They're adding the Europa Champions Leagues, but not anything close to
not actual
NWSL or
leagues.
anything, which is a bummer. Yeah.
It is disappointing. All right. fun facts and terms. Let's take turns, and I've been talking a lot, so I'm going to let you three take turns. So we'll start with Aaron, then Chris, and then Harley. So take it.
Can
Aaron,
I take the
go
third
for
one?
it.
I want to do the third one.
Let's do Chris, Harley, Aaron then.
All right, fine, whatever. I wanted the third one. but
Aaron,
it's
Aaron
fine.
taking charge here. All right, Chris.
I got
All right.
something. Sure.
He's shy.
So first and foremost, there are more nations with soccer teams, football teams, than for any other sport, with 211 different teams.
It's wild.
Jeez.
That's insane.
That's insane.
Think about you
Whoa,
think like
get out of my
American
head.
football and basketball, and it's like, nah, soccer's got them like so far.
It's the world's game.
It is.
Everybody loves it.
Yeah.
All right, Harley, what you got?
Up until 1908, soccer balls were made out of executed Irish prisoners' inflated stomach tissue. Oh my God.
I'm
They also
going to assume not all soccer balls. But
Is that for
some.
real?
some. Yeah.
Yeah.
I looked it up. Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah,
if you think before that, when like Chinese people were at war and they think they invented soccer, they
Yeah.
used beheaded like enemies
Yeah.
as soccer balls.
Yep.
Yeah. Soccer's wild. Okay, I want to add something to this one.
All right, go for it.
But the most fans to attend one football match or soccer match took place in 1950 in Rio de Janeiro. A total of 199,854 people watched Brazil play Uruguay in the World Cup.
It's a wild number.
Now, what I want to add to this is 1950 is also the like miracle on grass is what people call it. US beat England.
Oh, yeah.
They were super, super, super underdogs. England was like dominating. In fact, like rejected English players played a scrimmage against the US and beat them like 12-0 before
Wow.
the World Cup. But it's cool because I'll stick to the fan side. It says that like the U.S. scored in like the 12th minute and only like 8,000 to 10,000 people showed up. The
Wow.
full stadium at halftime was packed because people were hearing on the radios the score and Brazilians didn't want to play England. So they were like showing up to cheer on the U.S. And so it's like
That's
a
awesome.
David and Goliath. So it's really, really cool. So it went
what
from
you're
a half
saying
empty
is
stadium to
we beat
completely
them
full.
in the American Revolution. We beat them in the War of 1812.
And right
and then
after
we beat them
World War
again
II.
in 1950.
But did we beat them in the War of 1812? Is that a win? Are you sure
I
about that?
mean,
They burned
That's
down
not
the
fair.
White House.
Canada did.
They burned down our White House, exactly.
But that's Canada. It's not.
And
it's
then
not,
we won.
we don't
All
give
right.
that
It
to
doesn't
the UK.
matter if we had to jump them. We still won the fight.
Sorry, I was really excited. I love that. And
That's cool, man.
there is a movie that like is about that 1950 U.S. team that's really cool.
Really? What is it?
Bend
I
it
I think
like
it's
that.
like the greatest game ever played. I think is what it's called, or something
Oh,
like that.
I'm gonna.
It's got what's his name from Tool Time or whatever, like the youngest son from
Jonathan Taylor Thomas? Or
Yeah,
no, the youngest.
No, the blonde one.
The middle child then? Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
I don't know.
JTT.
I don't remember. I'll look it up. Well, I'll
played
tell you.
Simba in
I'll
Lion
type it in
King.
the notes. I'll type it in the notes.
Okay. All right. We got to move along. Chris, take the next one.
All right. So in 2018, according to FIFA, more than 1 billion people watched the France versus Croatia World Cup final. The live viewership tended to have 517 million concurrent watchers on average.
Crazy.
Jeez.
Love it.
I wish soccer
All right,
was like a
Harley.
bigger deal in America because like this
It's
is
getting there.
dope.
It's
Honestly,
getting there.
it's getting there.
If I don't think I put it in here, but I should have. MLS, the Major League Soccer, is the fastest growing sport in the U.S.
Mhm. It's watched more than NHL as well.
Yeah, and it's catching up to baseball.
Oh, that doesn't
if
surprise
it's not
me.
already past it.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
Harley.
Nobody watches hockey. Anyways. Speaking of viewership, the average viewership from the last 3 World Cup finals is around 527 million viewers compared to 2021 Super Bowl reaching in at around 140 million.
Yeah.
Suck it,
it's
football.
wild. I'd actually
Girl.
love to see like. I wish you could get like an accurate count of how many people actually watch because there's like small nations where there's like 30 people crowded around one
Right.
TV and stuff.
Yeah.
Like it's wild.
Yeah.
So we call it soccer. Almost everywhere else calls it football except like South Africa and Australia. And it's weird that we do that, but it's popular in the US as soccer, but in Britain they'll always be like, it's football, even though they're the ones that came up with it.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that football-like games have existed for centuries, the modern game is frequently credited as having started in 1863 when England's newly created Football Association published a set of rules and regulations. But at the time, it wasn't the only game of its kind being played at like it was similar to rugby football, which is a version that enabled players to carry the ball and run with it. That was used in English boarding schools a whole lot. But as a result, association football came to be the name given to the sport played by the Football Association. And
Makes sense.
yeah, and so association is where you get the word soccer.
Yeah.
Because SOCC. Yeah. But the names would inevitably be abbreviated in the 1880s. Linguistically gifted Oxford students started calling the games of rugby football and association football. Later, the association was abbreviated to soccer, and the word swiftly gained popularity outside of the university. However, in Great Britain, soccer never progressed more beyond just kind of a nickname for the game.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so the
like
English are responsible for us calling it soccer.
Yeah, so anytime someone tries to give you beef about calling it soccer, it's like, you guys started it.
You are the blueprint. You did it first. I just hate that they confuse themselves.
Yeah,
because they were like, "Oh, both of these are football.
No,
let's specify it a little bit." Yeah,
they're just trying to gaslight Americans.
Yep.
I am curious though as to why we call ours football.
Because it's a foot long.
Because I'm assuming we're calling it soccer whenever we're playing. It's a foot.
That's not right.
That's not. It's a yard long. That's why it's 100
that's,
yards.
that's
an American
not right
football
at all.
is not a yard long.
Oh, you're talking about
like
I thought you were talking about like first and 10 yards,
measurements.
not first and 10 feet. Yeah.
It didn't have
you're
something to
talking
do
about the
with
foot.
gridiron football. Like that's where it started as. And
Maybe.
Then whatever. I'm not going to.
Maybe it was similar to rugby. Yeah, let's just speculate. Maybe it is similar to rugby. How it started as gridiron football, and we already had soccer, so we just called it football.
Yeah.
I don't.
You know what? We're changing it. That's exactly how it happened.
It's official.
Yeah.
Okay.
Always
Aaron,
more official.
Aaron
go-
says so.
I'm gonna go change the Wikipedia.
we need to rewrite the. Yeah, I was about to say that. Oh my god.
All right, Chris, take the next one.
The original World Cup was made of paper mache, and after heavy rains in the 1950 World Cup, it had to be replaced with a different material.
Yeah. Oh no.
Could you imagine winning that prize? And, like you stick it up in the air to cheer, and then you bring it back down, and you're just holding like the base.
I honestly didn't know that, but looking at the trophy, it makes complete sense.
Yeah.
It's
It looks
like
very like paperish.
It's such an underwhelming trophy too, compared to like the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
But I
think
get
what
It's a good
teams
tradition.
should do is like, as one team is like parading around with the World Cup, the team that lost should pick up all of the confetti that's like falling and build their own. And then they could just start parading around and just watch the confused faces of all the people.
Guys, let's
is
create a new
happening right
tradition.
Yeah.
We get the trophy, wrap it in paper mache. Then when it's raining, that's when the winning team has the parade, so it reveals this golden trophy.
Yeah. There you go.
Oh, that's
That'd be
way
cool.
cooler.
I'm down.
That
for it.
honestly would be super cool.
Although in places like Qatar, you'd be waiting for a good long while.
Artificial.
Yeah,
rain.
it
Fair enough.
Clouds,
it'd probably fry before it melt, and then
Hey,
it gets stuck
you could
to
just start
the
feeling.
gold.
That's why they're doing it in the winter because it's so hot in the summer there.
Yeah.
Oh, smart. I
don't
mean,
know
it's
if
still
that's
even
true.
hot then.
Yeah.
It's not
this is
true
the-
that it's hotter there in the summer.
What?
No, I don't know that
Chris.
that's why they're doing it.
It is
That
why
is-
they're doing it.
That is.
It's always in the
It's
summer.
always in the summer.
I just
All
had
right,
a.
I thought they were just still building their
Who's he
their,
questioning here?
their stadiums.
No.
Oh my god. Well, that
They've
too,
had
I guess.
they've
but-
had like 10 years to build their stadiums
Yeah.
and 10
Mm.
million slaves. Oops.
Oops. Moving on. Is it Chris? No, it's Harley.
Cool. Up until 1991, soccer was illegal in Mississippi. That doesn't surprise me for some reason.
What is this European commie
just-
sport?
You
They
know
just
what?
couldn't spell it.
So was I. I was also illegal in Mississippi up until 1991.
Oh. Oh no,
They couldn't spell it. So
Mississippi. They couldn't
Well,
spell
their own
it.
country, their own state name.
SOKCECKR.
MISSISING.
SOCK.
That's
Aaron,
No,
what's the next one?
the country of Greenland actually has never ever been able to have a FIFA recognized team. That's because they can't grow grass to create fields. However, I will say this: they do have an unrecognized team, and there are a lot of different ones like this, and they host their own World Cups.
Oh, fun.
What is the area? I know this is not in the notes. What's the area with Barcelona, like Catalonia or something like that?
Yeah, Spain. Yeah.
So like Catalonia and then Cascadia has their own team as well. So like Pacific Northwest in America, they have their own recognized. It's like FIBA or something like that. That's basketball. I don't know why I'm saying. But they have their own World Cup.
That's fun.
Yeah, so that's really really cool. It's
You're not
CONIFA.
gonna invite me to your party? I'll start my own party.
Yeah, so it's
Literally.
called
And it's gonna be way
CONIFA.
better with cocaine and strippers.
Yeah, so CONIFA has like North Macedonia, Northern Cyprus, Punjab, all these different places that aren't recognized, but they recognize themselves geographically as their own area. And Cascadia in America is one of them as well. So they have their own World Cup tournament.
That's probably where Somalia participates in.
Yeah, I think there's like Somaliland is a team as well.
American Samoa.
Yeah. So.
All right,
Really
last one.
worldly. You know,
Chris, take
only
away
a
this last
few
one. We got to go.
countries.
All right.
Well,
Germany experienced
sorry.
a baby boom of around 30% roughly 9 months after hosting the World Cup in 2006.
Yeah, they did.
That's awesome.
Makes sense to me.
Makes a lot of sense. All right, we got to move along. Let's talk about the World Cup. Let's talk about this World Cup that's coming around the corner. In fact, by the time this releases, what's the date? Is it the 20th?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this releases on the 16th, so just 4 days after. Aaron, would you mind talking about what the World Cup actually looks like as like a format?
Yeah, so like we talked about at the beginning of the show, there's 32 teams that qualify for the World Cup in just different geographical regions and stuff. But teams participate and they get drawn into groups of 8, each with 4 teams during the group stage. There's 2 different sets of groups with, I don't think that's correct.
Yeah, like on each side. I see what you're saying. Like,
yeah, so each team or 8 teams are seeded, including the host. This is how like it's drawn. Actually, I made that a little complicated. So they get put in groups of like 4 is in one group, and they draw the numbers. And so like they have the best 7 teams get drawn into one group, and then the host gets drawn in another group as the 1 seed. That way you're not having like Germany and Spain France and one, and it's like competition's not as good for the other groups. Right. But each group competes in a round robin format. I can't talk. I'm having a stroke. Sorry. And each team plays 3 matches against other teams in the group. Even if you know you're gonna like miss the next round, both teams they'll still play each other.
Yeah.
And so each team will play at least 3 games against the other teams in the group. This indicates that each group has 6 matches. For the sake of maintaining fairness among the 4 teams, the last round of games for each group is set at the exact same time. So basically, if there's a way for a team to make the next round and the other game is affected, it shows like, okay, I'm already secured, so I don't need to like lose on purpose or something, or just go for a draw. You're competing at the highest level possible.
Well, then also too is sometimes a team will purposely try to get in the second place in that group, so that way they have an easier match the next game.
Yeah.
And so this kind of prevents that from happening.
Like if you see Brazil going on to the next round and they got second in their group, you're like, okay, I'm going to try to play for second in mine, so I don't have to play Brazil. I play somebody that was an underdog. So it's a fairness thing. Each group's top 2 teams progress to the round of 16. A group's teams are ranked using points. 3 points have been given for a win since 1994, 1 for a tie, and none for a defeat. That's just for the group stage, though.
Right.
Once in the round of 16, it becomes a normal knockout single elimination tournament. They add on extra time, so you have 2 15-minute periods of extra time if it's tied at 90 minutes. And then after that, you go into penalty kick shootouts, which
are always my favorite.
What was that?
Those are always my favorite, the penalty kick shootouts.
It's so much fun, but it's such a honestly, it's such a luck of the draw.
Right.
You know, there's
It's
such
super
a
intense.
little.
It's
It is
true.
super intense.
Yeah.
I think I read somewhere that the penalty kicks are harder to block than a professional baseball player's fast pitch.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
fastball pitch.
Yeah. The odds
Well,
are
because
very
like
against you.
if you lean one way and then you recognize the ball's gonna like go the opposite way,
You have to
You've
shift your
already-
whole
it's
body,
already-
and it's not going to happen.
yeah, it's already in the net by the time you realize.
Yep.
So it's just you
Mm.
picking one side or the other. And like that's when analytics comes into things. People will have sheets that say like, okay, so here's this guy, he likes to shoot right. Here's this guy, he likes to shoot left.
Statistically, he's going to shoot it
And
this
yeah.
way.
goalkeepers will have it on their water bottles too, just in
Yeah.
case.
Yeah, I think it's on the water bottles because you
Really?
can't have like a sheet of paper. Yeah. So they'll like while they're waiting for the next guy, they take turns shooting. While they're waiting for the next guy to shoot, they're looking, saying, this guy's coming up. He usually 70% of the time goes right.
Yeah.
Top right, bottom right. It's wild.
I really feel like, though, like if that were me, I would purposely skew my own statistics. Like 70% of the time,
Yeah.
I kick right. And then only during the World Cup, I'm kicking left 100% of the time.
But man, if
Yeah.
you mess up, that's a big
If you
mess
mess
up.
up, yeah.
But it's something, I mean, at that level, though, you have to be
Yeah.
good enough to do that.
Well, there's a reason
You're
why you
right.
shoot 70% at a certain spot because usually you're pretty good
I
at
mean,
that 70%.
that's your best, but at
But
the
also,
professional
like-
World Cup level, you have
But
to be
also,
good
I
at
get
the
what you're
amount
others.
of-
saying, but it's just you're more likely to mess
Like,
up.
personally,
Chris,
I wouldn't
Chris.
do that because I suck, but
the amount of times you actually shoot a penalty kick though is super low.
Right.
Because usually,
Yeah.
like if
True.
I get fouled in the box and Tim's a better shooter than me, like penalty
yes,
kick shooter,
he'll take the kick
he
for
takes
you.
he takes
Yeah.
the kick. So like my statistics may be one time I shot to the right,
Right. Good
but they'll
point.
take your whole career and start like
Yeah,
analyzing it
that's
that
what I'm
way.
saying. Like from the day I became a professional, I would focus on World Cup. So
Fair
I would
enough.
kick right 100% of the time, and then during the World Cup, left, switch it up. But like in my
I'm gonna
practice
shoot
time at
backwards.
my own house, where I have my own professional pitch and everything, like I would kick left.
Yeah.
I would just practice that at my house, and then in the games, kick right.
All right, we got to move along. Harley, would
Oh.
you do us the honor of telling us who are all the teams in each group?
Yes. So Group A is Qatar, Ecuador, Senegal, question mark, and the Netherlands. B is England, Iran, USA, and Wales. C is Argentina, Saudi Arabia, Mexico, and Poland. D is France, Australia, Denmark, and I feel like I know how to pronounce this.
Tunisia.
Tunisia. Thank you.
Tunisia.
E is
Tunisia.
Spain. Are these like actually labeled by like alphabet,
No.
or is it just like?
Well, I mean,
Oh. No, Spain doesn't come before Costa Rica.
what do you mean?
No. I'm saying like Group
No,
E.
no, these are the
Like, is that
groups.
like a thing in?
Yeah,
No,
yeah, Group A,
they-
I don't-
Group C.
Yeah, this is the group that Spain's gonna play Costa Rica, for example, and Germany.
and Japan. Yeah,
Yeah, but
These
I'm
groups
saying
play
like
each
are
other
they
and-
actually labeled in the feet like in
Yeah, like-
soccer in the World Cup
Yes.
A B
Yes.
C D E.
yes.
Ah,
Yes.
okay.
That's-
That's where
that's
my
how they split
confusion
'em up
lies. I
before
thought
they
that
put
was
'em
like
into the
for
bracket.
the notes.
No,
Oh,
I see what you're saying.
anyways.
yeah, it's for the actual.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
E.
E is Spain, Costa Rica, Germany, and Japan. F, Belgium, Canada, Morocco, and Croatia. G, Brazil, Serbia, Switzerland, and Cameroon. H, Portugal, Ghana, Uruguay, and South Korea.
Yeah. If I remember correctly, one of the highest ranked, the highest average ranked group is actually Group B. Is that right, Aaron? Do I remember that correctly?
It's
Like on
either-
average,
I think it's
they're
either
ranked.
Group B or Group E, maybe E or F.
Because of Germany and Spain.
Yeah,
a
Germany
good
and
point.
Spain skew it a whole lot. England's a little bit higher, and Wales is okay. But I think I'm not sure. Let me look.
Yeah, they usually have this thing when you're looking at a World Cup or any kind of tournament like this. They kind of call it this thing called the Group of Death, is where essentially it's going to be very hard to get out of because all the teams are usually really good. Or is it the other way around where there's like two really good teams and the other two teams are really bad and it's like you're not going to get out? I can't remember.
Elo's deadliest group of death is G and E. Brazil, Switzerland, Serbia, and Cameroon. And then Spain, Germany, Japan, Costa Rica. Japan has gotten past the first round quite a bit. Costa Rica's no slouch. But like Spain and Germany are going to get out of that group, no question. But yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's move along. Chris, would you like to tell us about the odds?
Yeah, so betting odds, because this is a game where people obviously are going to be betting, making so much stupid amounts of money. Brazil, their odds are looking at plus 400. I'm not really sure what that means.
So
I know that the odds are plus 400 for Brazil.
Yeah, basically they have the highest chance of winning.
They're favored to win, so if they win, you're not making that much money off of them.
Correct.
France is plus 600. Argentina, 650. England, 700. Spain, 800. Germany is 1,000. And the USA, believe it or not, is plus 10,000.
It's not a surprise.
We are 10 times less likely to win than Germany, who is not even the number one pick.
No.
I would pick Germany 100 times before I'd pick US to win it all.
Yeah.
This year especially.
You think, though, actually? Because Germany, they've been... Didn't last year
if
or
it's
last World
between
Cup
Germany and US, I think Germany would beat US 99 times out of 100 at least.
Maybe.
I think.
Okay, well let's
until we did the flying V.
That's true.
Okay, so speaking of predictions, EA Sports, FIFA, like the video game, they do this thing every World Cup cycle where they do a simulation within the game to predict who is going to win. And in 3 of the last 4 World Cups, they have predicted the winner. And in this one, they have predicted it to be Argentina, which is actually a really big deal because this is assumedly Lionel Messi's last World Cup, along with Cristiano Ronaldo, because they're getting old.
They keep saying that, and then these pros just keep playing.
He's 35 years old. Well, Ronaldo's 35, Messi's 34. Is that what it is? Ronaldo's a little bit older.
But the difference is like if they played for the U.S., 100%, they'd probably be back next go around. Like they're like Landon Donovan would, like he was perfectly fine coming back for the next go around.
Right.
But like Argentina is just chock full of young talent.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not going to, I don't think he'll be able to hang.
Well, here's another thing. The reason why Argentina is ranked up so high is because they just won for the first time in a long time the, what is it called, Aaron? The South American.
The
Libertadores?
I can't remember.
How do you say, is it Liberty in Spanish? What is the word? Is that what it is? Copa Libertadores?
Yeah.
Aaron's going to find out faster than I will.
Anyways.
He's faster at Googling.
Yeah, so they won it for the first time, and so they're on a high, and they got a lot of momentum behind them. And then Lionel Messi's doing good on a club level right now, better than Ronaldo is. And so France, even though they won the last World Cup, they've been kind of sketchy this last cycle. Brazil,
I'm not high on France.
Yeah, Brazil looks pretty good. I wouldn't be surprised if they take it pretty far. Yeah. Okay, so did I save that for the last? Yeah, I saved it for the end. So let's move on to this final little segment, and then we will do our own predictions. And let's talk about Team USA, because that's where we live. I usually, when I root for teams in the World Cup, I usually root for 2 main teams, and that is USA and Italy. However, even though Italy won the last, not Nations League, but like the UEFA, what is it called, Aaron? Why am I?
There's so many different cups and
I know this. Yeah, it's the European Championship. Anyways, they won it in what
Europa League.
Europa. No. Thank you. Yeah, it's not. That's
not it. That's the wrong one.
Yeah.
Is it just straight up the European Championship?
Maybe.
That's what I would call it.
In soccer, I talked about this.
Yeah. Okay, anyways, they won the last one for Europe, which is highly competitive, obviously.
Yeah.
But they missed the World Cup, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyways, Team USA. So here are all the players. I'm going to go through this really quickly. Team USA goalkeepers, you got Matt Turner from Arsenal, Ethan Horvath from Luton Town, Sean Johnson from New York City FC, which they left out Zach Steffen, which is a huge...
I was very surprised.
Yeah, huge surprise.
Although, like, Sean Johnson is a good goalkeeper.
Right. I listen to Alexi Lawless a lot. He has his own show on Fox.
Yeah.
and he made a point of saying, well, when it comes to goalkeepers, usually you want to have one guy who is the one guy, and you don't want to have this question mark over both of their heads of who's number one and number two. And so he probably chose Matt Turner as number one and told Zach Steffen, look, you're not my number one, but I don't want you to feel bad for being number two or number three. So sorry, maybe next time kind of thing.
Fair enough.
Which makes sense.
Yeah.
You don't want that pressure over their heads during the World Cup.
Yeah.
All right, defenders. Anthony Robinson from Fulham, Tim Ream from Fulham, Walker Zimmerman from Nashville SC, Serginho Dest from AC Milan, Cameron Carter-Vickers from Celtic, Aaron Long from New York Red Bulls, Shaq Moore from Nashville SC, Joe Scally from Borussia, I'm not even going to try it, and DeAndre, what was that?
Gladbach.
Oh, is that what it is?
Mönchengladbach.
You're right. DeAndre Yedlin from Inter Miami CF.
Sorry. If I hear a Seattle Sounder player, I just boo him.
Who knows?
There's no real big surprises, I don't think, in the
Outside
defender
of Pepe.
section.
Oh,
Not the defender section though. Like there was a couple guys that were injured, which is why you had people like Joe Scally and Shaq Moore come in.
Yeah.
But yeah, everyone else looks pretty normal. I'm excited to see Dest on the right. Walker Zimmerman's always been one of my favorites. Tim Ream has been surprising because he wasn't in the last World Cup or in the last World Cup qualifying, but he's been doing pretty good club level. Anything to say about that, Aaron?
I mean, you got a good solid blend, I think, having the experience overseas, and then like a lot of those MLS players are in form right now because they just played a full season, and like they may be a little bit tired, but you know for a fact like they've had a month's rest, so they're in form and like they've had rest. It's a good thing.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the midfield section, which I'm extremely excited about. We have Weston McKennie, who is arguably the greatest player on the team right now.
I know that name.
He plays for Juventus. You got Tyler Adams for Leeds United. He's on fire too. Yunus Musa from Valencia. Brendan Aronson from Leeds United. Kellen Acosta from LAFC, who just won the MLS Cup. Luca De La Torre from Celta Vigo. And Christian Rodon from Seattle Sounders.
Sorry. I can't stand Roldan, but he's actually a very good player.
Yeah.
He's a younger version of Diego Chara, Chara is just a workhorse, a gritty, like bulldog, basically is a good way I look at him. And like, I can't stand Roldan, but I think he's an incredible player.
Yeah.
It's just based on like...
And maybe explain to the audience why you think this.
Because I am a big fan of the Portland Timbers, and their biggest rival it's basically Boston Yankees, or Red Sox Yankees when it comes to soccer. The history goes back to the 70s. They hate each other with a passion, and and it's always a physical, gnarly game. So
right,
yeah.
All right, Harley, do you have any opinions on this?
No.
Okay.
I don't know any of these people.
Hey Harley, just say like Roldan's stupid.
What if they like quote that?
This one person, just makes national headlines.
I will say this though, I am really excited to see. I don't think there will be both on. Well, I don't know. Do you think Tyler Adams and Brendan Aronson will both be on the starting lineup? It's exciting because they're at Leeds. They're just a dynamic duo. Yeah,
and I was thinking about that as well with like some of the guys down, like Robinson and Ream. I'd love to see them play together, the defenders, because they got that chemistry. And I mean, you never know.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Weston. I think he'll definitely start. You just can't start without him.
Yeah, I agree.
Tyler Adams, he's just so fast and he is precise and he's stellar. All right, let's move on to the forwards. There's one big surprise here, but most of it is pretty expected.
Pretty predictable, I think.
Christian Pulisic, who is arguably one of the greatest players on the team, or at least the linchpin of the team. He plays for Chelsea.
It's my son's favorite team.
Yeah.
My wife's name.
Yeah. Giovanni Reina from Borussia Dortmund. He is incredibly talented. He's only 19, if I'm not mistaken. But young. His father played for the U.S. national team 16 years ago. It's in the blood. Jordan Morris from
Ooh.
Seattle Sounders, which I was surprised to see him on here because he's a
not
little
playing well.
old.
Yeah, and he hasn't been playing well.
No, he was injured for a long time too.
Yeah.
So I think I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't see him start.
I think it's a
any game.
chemistry thing.
Yeah,
He's got chemistry with several of the players. I've booed people that don't even play for Seattle anymore, but they've played overseas, and he's got chemistry with them. And I think that could be a big thing that you're seeing.
Yeah. Next up, you got Timothy Weah from Lille. It's French, so I think it's Lille or something like that. Fun fact about Timothy Weah, for you guys that don't know, his father played for who did he play for? I can't remember who he played for, but he won the Ballon d'Or in like 95, 94.
Really?
But his father is actually the president of Liberia.
What the burger?
Yeah.
That's wild.
Okay. Yeah.
That's intense.
Next up, my boy from FC Dallas, Jesus Ferreira. He is probably going to, I would argue, probably be the starting number 9, even though he's not a traditional number 9 player. He's just been on fire for FC Dallas, though. I think he was, third in goals this season?
Second or third, I can't remember.
Yeah, he was really close. Yeah. Then you got Josh Sargent from Norwich City, a young striker who has been just on fire lately, past few weeks. Which is probably why he got the call up. And then I would argue the biggest surprise of the whole team is Haji Wright.
I have no clue who he is.
He's such an out there player. He basically surpassed Ricardo Pepi, which granted he hasn't been scoring that much this past year, but he was a pivotal part of the World Cup qualifying.
I agree.
And so it is incredible to see that we didn't get Ricardo Pepi.
It blows my mind. I saw it and I was like, who's Haji, for one? Second of all, why isn't Pepe on this list? And the only thing I could think of was like, they may have not wanted another winger.
Oh yeah.
But
is that what he's been doing? I thought he was more center.
I thought they pushed him out wide, like closer to playoffs.
Oh, you might be right.
Yeah.
You might be right.
One of the guys at the church I work at, he's a big FC Dallas fan as well. So
yeah, it's actually remarkable. If you look at all the players on this team, you got Zimmerman played for Dallas at one point. Weston McKennie came from the academy. Acosta, I think, played for Dallas for a little bit. Who else? Ferreira plays for Dallas. Yeah, a lot of people from Dallas.
Which it would make sense if Dallas builds great rosters, I won't lie. They just sell them off to Europe.
Right.
Talk about this.
Yeah, this last year was their first year where they were actually decent in a long time.
You're right. I was rooting for them. Once the Timbers got eliminated, I was like, I hope they win. But fair enough. Yeah. But maybe that was why I was surprised Pepe didn't get picked up, because again, chemistry.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Maybe we'll see some surprises. Who knows?
I hope so. I'll be good surprises. All right, let's do our last thing before I believe Aaron's got to leave us in a minute. But let's talk about our predictions for the World Cup. Who do we think is going to win, and how far do we think the U.S. is going to get? Let's start off with our expert, Harley. What do you think?
Yeah, good. I think...
I'm going to write this down, too, so that way we know.
I was just about to, yeah.
You got it?
Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm going Germany.
Okay.
Alemania.
And how far do you think the U.S. is going to get?
What are my options?
Will they make it out of the group? Will they not make it out of the group? Will they get to the round of 16, quarterfinals, semifinals, finals?
I think they're going to get to the quarterfinals.
That's a solid guess. I think if they do well, if they get second in the group, and they have to go against Netherlands, I can see that happening.
Yeah,
I can see that happening. Chris, what about you?
Good guess.
As much as I don't want this to be the case, because I just have a vendetta against Argentina, I think Argentina's going to take it.
Yeah,
I think they're going to win the entire World Cup, and then I think the U.S. is going to make it to probably the second round of the bracket, the eights, the
quarterfinals.
The quarterfinals. I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Aaron, how about you, good sir?
Well, I have my list in front of me right here. I think the Dutch are going to beat the U.S. to go into the quarterfinals. But I got Argentina, Spain in the final, with Argentina taking it 3-1. And then I have Germany and France in the third place game.
That's a good one.
Yeah. My thing was like, I don't see US getting past the quarterfinals. They could squeak one out against the Netherlands, but I don't see them beating Argentina.
Oh no.
Unless like a miracle happens.
Which
So,
it's been close. Like the U.S. was it 2002 almost made it to the semis only because there was like a missed
Germany
penalty.
again,
Yeah.
the hand of Franz.
Uh-huh.
He okay. So is before VAR was a thing. VAR is
Right.
like instant replay. US had a shot on goal that hit his hand on the line. Like the famous call is like, Fringe, he handles the ball on the line. Germany wins in extra time. US
Yeah.
would have won if that would have been allowed, or if they had had a PK. US would have won in regular time.
Yeah,
So.
I didn't put this in the facts, but I should have. The highest the U.S. team has ever gotten is third place, but that was in like 1930.
It was the first World Cup.
First one?
Yeah,
so
and then 1950 was the next World Cup they actually made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, my prediction, I think the U.S., I think they will squeak by the Netherlands. I think they have a really good depth, and I think they're young. They're the second youngest team in the whole tournament. I think they have a lot of energy, so I think they're going to out-tire Netherlands. I could be wrong, but I want to be hopeful. But I think that's as far as they get.
Yeah.
So they get to the semi or the quarters.
Can I tell you my crazy bold prediction for the World Cup?
Sure.
I have Qatar getting out of group.
Oh my God, that would be wild, man.
I mean, it's Ecuador and Senegal and Netherlands. Like, it's very doable.
You're right. They did decent in this last few months against these other friendlies.
So here's the thing with Qatar, right? All those guys play on the same, like almost every single one of them play on the same club team together. Right. They just travel around and like they won the Asia Cup, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And then they took second or third in the Gold Cup or whatever. Right. Not the Gold Cup, what is CONCACAF one? Yeah, the one with US, Mexico, Canada. They took second or third in that one. So they did real well. They're not a bad team. It's just yeah.
Yep.
But I have them getting out of that group.
I am going to put in my optimism here, and I'm actually going to root for Argentina because I am a Messi fan. Nice. And I think he deserves a World Cup win. And I'll say this. I respect now for Ronaldo that I didn't have prior to his departure from Real Madrid. However, I think Messi is just an all-around better player, and I want the argument to be over. And I just want it. So I like Messi. I want him to have it. I think he deserves it.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yes.
Yep.
Why is Argentina like so speculated to win? Like, what have they done this year? That's
because the FIFA game predicted it.
Because of what?
Argentina.
Because the FIFA game predicted it.
It's not just that.
On Xbox.
It's not that.
It's they've historically been a decent team always, if not a good team. But they also have arguably the greatest player to ever play the game on their team, along with a good, solid team. South American teams usually have at least decent players. Most European teams get a solid part of their team from South America. And so Argentina, past few years, like I mentioned earlier, they won the South American Cup, whatever the thing is called. And so they're on a high right now. And so it's a good possibility with Messi's last World Cup, it being a good team already, they could take it far. It really just depends on how the groups end up, really. So, yeah.
Interesting. Okay, my other guess then is Spain is going to win.
Spain.
That'd
be interesting.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. All right, guys. Aaron, I think you got to go, right?
Yeah, before I do that, because I'm not going to be able to be here for Rec and Rev.
Oh, man.
I know, right? All right. I was going to rec Amend. All's Quiet on the Western Front.
I've been wanting to watch that.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll say two things about it, but then I actually have like a legit recommendation based on like what we're talking about. Okay. First of all, I thought I was listening to the Halloween episode thinking, oh, this would be the perfect Halloween because it is not a war movie. It is a horror movie. just watch it. You will see.
Okay.
Once you watch it, text me, because
What
it doesn't
kind of
celebrate war.
horror?
It shows the horrors of war, and it is
Okay.
terrible. It's a phenomenal movie.
Is it
but-
like ghosts and demons, or just like war?
No. It's based on a World War I trench warfare. Like, it shows from a German soldier's perspective.
It's an
And
older
it just
movie. Or
the-
the original is.
Yeah,
And it's
it
based off
like
a book.
without like getting into spoilers, it shows from like high school. It follows this one high schooler, and him and his friends are all excited to go join war because they're so excited. They forge their parents' signatures, all that, and then they get to the trench, and it is horrifying.
Yeah.
And it's showing them learning what tanks are. Like, they've never seen tanks before, and they're seeing tanks roll up to them in the trenches. And
Jeez.
like, it'll leave you speechless. It's 3 hours that goes by quick too.
Yeah.
And the
3
thing
hours.
and the thing I love about it is it doesn't celebrate war. It just shows
I
the
hate
gruesome,
movies that do
horrible. No, like, it's not like that celebrate war.
Yeah.
that. Yeah, that's celebrated.
Oh. Yeah, it shows like literally the pointlessness of war. I'm not going to give anything away, but you watch it, you'll leave speechless. If you love history, watch it. It's not 100. There is a book by the same name. It's similar, but it's not like 100% accurate to like the book itself, but it's still phenomenal.
Thanks.
The other one on topic of this is I would recommend you support your local professional soccer team.
Yay.
Because I was looking up, because I know y'all are based out of Killeen. The closest quote unquote professional soccer team is in Tyler. There's a team called Tyler FC. There's really not a whole lot. I mean, Houston has a couple, but there are a bunch of lower league soccer teams that have like 100 people show up at the games that are playing teams from other cities and stuff. And like, you get involved and you check out those games, you're going to see college players that are trying to make it that aren't able to be paid, and they're just playing for the love of the game, really. So if y'all fall, like, if you want, I can try to put together a list of really cool, like, local small teams.
Yeah, man.
Or try something
Find
different.
some in Kansas.
Find some in Kansas. There's Wichita FC, I think is what or FC Wichita, which has one of the coolest soccer logos there is. That's really, really a cool, and they're like they're like 5th or 6th division, and it's, again, college people. They have a good following too, but they have also one of the best logos there is. Cool. I've done a jersey for them, not like for the team, but just a mock-up. So support your local soccer team. Yeah.
Well, Aaron, on that note, man, I want to say thank you, bro, for being with us, and thanks for taking the time. I know you're about to jump out and go watch Black Panther, and so we appreciate you, man. You're
super jealous.
And sharing all of your knowledge.
Yes.
The beautiful sport that is football.
Glad that like I'm able to like actually share legit knowledge instead of looking like an idiot like last time. So
I think you looked amazing last time. Don't listen to what Tim says.
Thank you.
All right, guys. On that note, we're going to go into break, and we will be right back. Thank you all for listening to our podcast. Be sure to subscribe and leave a rating on your favorite podcast platform and YouTube. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook at AlwaysMorePod.
If you'd like to ask us a question for us to answer on the pod, you can email us at alwaysmorepodcast@gmail.com, or you can call us on our Always More hotline and leave a voicemail question at 254-218-4042.
You can also follow all of our social medias individually and as the Always More podcast. Thanks for listening. Let's get back to it.
All right, everybody. We are back from our break. Talking about the World Cup. Hope you guys enjoyed that. I like to, I've always enjoyed soccer because I played it, but it's one of those things that I think it has like such a stigma on it, because not a stigma maybe a tiny one.
Because Americans hate anything that isn't actually American.
Right. And so growing, like, my whole life has been basically defending soccer because communism or whatever, and it's brilliant. Anyway, so to me, I love learning new things, and so I really enjoyed kind of teaching a little bit, or talking about soccer a bit. There's another sport that I've been really learning, and it's cricket. It's a lot of fun, and it's very different and unique, and I think it's just fun to learn new sports. New things.
Fair enough.
It's always fun to loon. Good night. Anyways, let's just move on. I was gonna try and backpack off of that, but it didn't.
It didn't. All right, let's move along, guys, to talk about some fan questions. This is the part of the show where we answer your questions. So if you would like to provide us any questions, you can always direct message us. You can leave a comment in any of our social media platforms. You can email us, or you can leave us a voicemail at our Always More hotline, and you can do that at 254-218-4042.
Once again, that is 254-218-4042.
All right, we have 2 questions for y'all today because we're making this a quick one. Juan Carlos Padilla asked, was Papa Smurf the leader? Guys, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't think I've ever watched a single episode of The Smurfs.
This is where I shine. If I know one thing,
Okay.
it's the Smurf. I'm just kidding. I don't know too much about the Smurfs. I do remember watching the show as a kid, and I remember Papa Smurf being like a father figure more than a leader, whereas he would like give them advice and tell them things and explain things to them, and they would just completely ignore him. And they would do whatever they wanted and end up in trouble, and they'd be like, help, we need Papa Smurf. And he'd be like, all right, this is how we get out of this situation. And they're like, all right, cool. I wish we would have listened to you in the first place. And then the next episode, they'd be like, hey, Papa Smurf, what do we do with this? And he'd be like, oh, this, and this. And they'd be like, cool. We're going to do something totally different. So yes and no. He was a leader, but an ineffective one.
Oh, okay.
And not by his own ineffectuality, just because getting Smurfs to do anything was really, really hard.
Interesting.
Especially the younger ones.
I remember watching the movie when that came out a couple years ago. I think that was like, I don't even know, maybe like 2011 ? And just like Chris said, the same situation. It's just, they'd be like, hey, we're going to do this thing and not tell Papa Smurf. And they'd be like, oh no, we're in a predicament. And he'd be like, I freaking told you. But like Chris said, I don't think it was a matter of it, like him being, he wasn't the leader. He was just the head figure.
He's like the oldest one, because I think most Smurfs are like 100 years old, and he's like 500 years old.
Oh, wow.
But
and it's like in the Ninja Turtles, how what's his name? The rat guy.
Splinter?
Thank you. He's not, no. Yeah, Master Splinter?
Yes.
Is that his name?
So
he's not like...
me on Ninja Turtles? Look, I may not know a lot, but the Ninja Turtles, I do know.
Well, who was their like big enemy? I thought their enemy
Shredder.
was Splinter or something like that.
No, the enemy was Shredder.
Thank you. Okay, that's what I'm thinking. Anyways, Splinter, he's like the figure, like their master figure, but he's not like the leader. You know, like the Ninja Turtles themselves were.
Yeah, Leonardo was the leader.
Or whatever. Yeah,
Leonardo
exactly.
was the leader of the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
But Splinter was the master. He taught them everything, and he gave them advice, and they oftentimes ignored him.
Yeah,
Much like the
and
Smurfs.
I think that equates to Papa Smurf.
I don't think I have ever compared the Smurfs to the Ninja Turtles.
This is groundbreaking
in my head. And I don't think anybody has ever been so bold as to say that Papa Smurf and Master Splinter are the same.
I don't think they're the same. I think they hold similar places. They like have same place value for their
So where they
people.
are, they're the same, but still different. But
Absolutely.
Still
That is, yeah.
Oh, my God.
They represent the same position, but they are two completely different entities. Splinter would abolish Papa Smurf in a heartbeat.
Yeah, 100%. If Gargamel came after Splinter, it'd be game over. Game over. Gargamel was the human that was always trying to eat the Smurfs with his cat.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But he never was successful.
Of course.
If he went
Rip
after
in
Master
peace.
Splinter, it'd be game over.
All right, Juan Carlos, there's your answer. No, he was not. I mean, what is the answer? Is it like yes and no?
He's
Both?
the dad, but he's not the leader.
No. He was the leader. He just wasn't good at it.
I don't think he was their leader.
The question is, if just because you go to someone for advice, does that make them a leader?
No.
Like, did he have the final say in things?
No.
Yes. Because
No.
anytime like they had to lock down Smurf Village, it was always him that was like in charge of everything.
I have
No.
no idea, so I'm just seeing how much I can get you guys to fight.
It's
think
like
so.
a king. Like a king is not a leader.
That
He's just
by
a
very
placeholder.
definition,
he
that's
is.
what
Yeah,
a
he
king is.
Yeah.
Not like okay, but
Not
that's
a
like saying
motivational
Queen
leader, but he's a
Elizabeth
leader.
is like
He's
rest
a
in
boss.
peace. Shout out my girl.
Maybe,
Anyways,
maybe
actually
the better
not
question
really.
is here: is Papa Smurf a boss?
I guess he's more of a boss than a leader.
I don't know. How do you define a leader?
Who
Are we going by?
who has authority? Who does he have
Are we
authority?
doing John Maxwell's 21 irrefutable laws
No,
of leadership
no,
here,
no,
or
no.
like what's? How does one define a leader?
Does he have authority over the other Smurfs?
Yes,
Then yeah, he's a
but
leader.
it is oftentimes ignored.
So yeah, I would say yes. Then he's just a bad leader. Then
I
He
don't.
should have
think
led with
so.
an
I'm
I think
gonna
it
look
rain. I think it reigns in on authority.
Yeah. And here's another thing though. Like Smurfette almost always would have listened to Papa Smurf, and all of the other Smurfs would have done anything for Smurfette. So if Papa Smurf told her to tell them something, it would have been done.
Mm.
So he just needed to learn to delegate better.
Okay.
So I've done some research.
Please tell us.
I did not
And it's
think
Papa
this question was
Smurf?
going to take this long. Did you just type in who is the leader of the Smurfs?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there
Yeah.
you go.
Papa Smurf.
There you go, Juan Carlos. All right, moving along. Chris, give us this one.
So Kira, my wife's best friend and our lawyer, asked, what is something that will always be worth splurging on?
Toilet paper.
Food. Streaming services.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say food. Absolutely.
Okay, but what is
'Cause I
more important here?
struggle-
That's the question here. Food?
Food
Or
is way
toilet
more,
paper?
Food is way more important than toilet paper. Because without
you
toilet
can-
paper, I'm just uncomfortable. Without food, I'm dead.
No.
Yeah.
That's not the question here. No. The question is not what do you spend money on. The question is what do you splurge on, which means goes above and beyond what is necessary.
Oh, I get our finest toilet paper from H-E-B. It's like the H-E-B branded Charmin. Like it's good. It's not like the super soft, gross stuff that
Right.
like disintegrates in your hand, but it's not like one ply either. Like it's a good, solid toilet paper.
That's what I'm saying though. Like
It does
do you-
not cost as much as some of the other stuff out there. So I don't splurge on toilet paper.
but
if
if it came down to it,
If I go like literally 10 steps away from the toilet paper aisle is the chocolate milk aisle. I'm going to get Borden 100% of the time, even though it's more expensive than the H-E-B brand chocolate milk. Like I'll get the H-E-B brand toilet paper. I will not get the H-E-B brand chocolate milk.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'll splurge on food before I'll splurge on toilet paper.
Without a doubt, it's food because I can justify it. Because I feel like when it comes to
100%.
other things, like I'll be like, oh, with clothes, I'll be like, I could get this American Eagle shirt or I can go to the thrift store. But
Yeah.
like when it
But-
comes to like
But,
food, I'm like,
Oreos,
Cheesecake
I
Factory.
have to get the brand name Oreos. I can't get twist offs.
But here's the thing.
Right.
But what is something that
Like,
is,
it's
the question is
justified.
what is something that will always be worth splurging on? That means consistently splurging on. You splurge on food all the time. It's going to pile up here. But toilet
Yes,
paper, that's a
it does.
necessity.
No, it does pile up. It 100%
Yeah.
piles up. I cannot tell you how much money I've spent on food. It
Yes.
definitely piles up, but it's always worth it to
Oh
me.
my gosh. All right. Well, fair
Yeah.
enough.
I just
And
find
yet-
it so much more justifiable because it's like I need to feed my body. So if I get like, I don't know, the extra $2 worth of whatever this thing is, it's justified.
Like 100% of the time, I'm going to Taqueria over Taco Casa.
Mm. Now I'm hungry. You want to get me some?
No.
Okay.
No, I do not.
He's going to get you toilet paper. Eat this, Tim.
Yeah. I'll go buy you some Charmin. How about that? Splurge on that.
Are any other ideas? Any other things that are always worth splurging on?
Most of mine are food related. I don't buy video games anymore, and if I do, I always get them from like GameStop or
How
the
about
Amazon warehouse.
How about shoes or like clothing?
No.
I win most of my shoes from competitions at work. Or I buy them at Marshall's. So no, I wouldn't say shoes. Clothing, I go to Marshall's or I get it from work because, again, I win.
Haircuts.
No.
For the longest time, I went to this Asian hair cutting place, barbershop on Fort Hood Road, and haircuts there are like $5 a haircut. I recently started going to a black-owned barbershop in Heights, and I like that one a lot better. The haircuts are better, but
Definitely a lot more.
I don't really care that much. Like, I go when I have the money to do it. I'm not like, I need a haircut every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So, like, if I need a haircut and I have the money to do it, I'll go there.
Yeah.
If I don't, I'll just wait until I have the money to do it.
My
Yeah.
one is body care. So like shower stuff or like deodorant or like
smart.
sprays. I will always splurge because I'm like, I have to smell good.
Mm-hmm.
I have to.
Soap.
I have to have nice hair and I have to smell good. I'll always splurge on that. That's
Yeah.
justified because I don't want to stink in public, right? Come on.
My body wash and my deodorant.
Yeah, I recently did the bad thing of trying to find like cheap deodorant because I was just
Don't
like,
do that.
it was a bad idea. Like it was like a pack too.
Not only does it not work,
It just doesn't
but it
last.
smells bad.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Cheap deodorant is the worst.
it
Like,
lasts like 2 hours and I'm like putting it on like every 2 hours. So it
I
just,
stick with Degree.
yeah.
Degree or nothing.
I like
Yep.
Dove. Dove is pretty good.
Mm.
I don't know if Dove even
right,
makes
well-
men's scented
They do.
stuff. Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
they do.
All right. Well, thank you, friends, fans of the pod, for giving us your questions. We appreciate that. Don't forget, guys, if you'd like your own questions answered on the pod, to give us a DM, drop it in our comments.
Slide into our DMs.
Yeah, do whatever you got. Guys, final thoughts. 2022 World Cup is upon us, and by the time this episode releases, 4 days away. Are we pumped? Are we excited? Final thoughts about soccer, World
I'm
Cup?
really excited for the actual World Cup itself. Like I said, I only get excited during the World Cup,
Yeah.
which I'm sure is most American soccer fans, football fans, whatever you want to call them. And the country that I usually vote for, Honduras, isn't even in the World Cup this year, so I'm a little bummed about that.
Yeah.
But I think I'm pretty excited about it. It'll be fun, especially if they get those clouds going.
Harley, how about you? You want to watch the World Cup?
I don't know if I'm going to watch it actively, but I'll probably kind of maybe keep up with it. But that's only because of Ted Lasso. I'm going to be 100% honest.
Yes.
I was not into soccer until Ted Lasso.
Hey, it's fine.
So-
Ted Lasso did his job.
Janelle and I just
Yeah.
finished all of our shows, and we're looking for something new. So maybe
Ted Lasso, please.
We'll do
It's
Ted
it's
Lasso.
Christmas time. It's
Please.
perfect.
Oh, it is true. It is a Christmas show.
It's a Christmas show. Why didn't you lead
It has
with
Or
like
is that
that?
season
Christmas stuff
2?
in it.
I
or
would
is it
have
both?
watched it day one if you led with that.
I think both seasons
You
have
know
Christmas
how I
in
feel
it.
about Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got Christmas in it.
Oh my god! And the Christmas episode is so good.
Mm.
We're watching it tonight.
Oh my god.
Okay, yes. Okay, so here's some exciting news, guys. Wait, Harley, did I interrupt you? You're saying something?
She was talking about Ted
I guess
Lasso.
my last
okay.
thing is, I think it's interesting that's going to be in Qatar because I know somebody who just came back from there on like station deployment, whatever you want to call it. And
Yeah.
so when you mentioned that the World Cup was going to be in winter, I didn't realize it was because Qatar was so hot. But then I thought about how he told me that it got up to like 130 degrees
Yeah.
over there
Yeah.
in the
often.
summer. And I
Yep.
was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So that's going to be cool, I think.
Yeah, I think they were originally going to try to keep it in the summer and just do like AC stadiums, but then I guess it was too expensive for them or whatever. So that's why they finally did move it to.
Yeah, trying to air condition an entire stadium worth of World Cup viewers is really hard and expensive.
In Qatar, where
Yeah.
it's yeah.
It's
okay,
also
so here's,
is it a world? Third world country? Is it? I think.
No,
it's
no.
it's a oil nation.
Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah.
wealthy.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Just kidding.
Yeah, it is not poor at all.
There are
Oh.
like smaller poor villages just like anywhere else, but it's got a lot of money for a country.
Cool.
Yep.
Interesting.
Okay, so yeah, I was correct. Sunday, November 20th is the first World Cup match. It'll be between Qatar and Ecuador, and that is on, I believe it's going to be on Fox Sports at 10 a.m. I don't know if that's Eastern time or Central time, but it's around that time. U.S., guys, if you want to just pay attention to one team, pay attention to the U.S. because it's an exciting time to be a U.S. soccer fan. Oh, yeah, Harley.
Question. Does it go through the groups?
Yeah, so they do each group, like, go A through, was it F or whatever ends on, H. Yeah, and so they do, well, one or two matches at a time in each group. And sometimes it's like 3 or 4 different games on a day. I can't remember how many.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I know when they break into the brackets, it's usually 2 in a day until they get to the semifinals.
Yeah. So, yeah. Sunday, November 20th is the first match. However, if you just want to watch the U.S. team, which, again, I highly encourage, it's an exciting time to be a U.S. fan, young blood, in fact, I think there's only 1 or 2 players on this whole roster who have ever been to a World Cup.
What's good, young blood?
Yeah, and that's because we missed the last World Cup. It's been 8 years since we've been to one.
Right.
And so, 8 years is basically 3/4 of a professional soccer player's, career. So it's a big deal. So November 21st, Monday at 1 p.m., U.S. is going to play Wales. And then, guys, this is a big one. Friday, November 25th at 1 o'clock, the U.S. is going to be playing England. That's Black Friday.
I was going to say, isn't that Black Friday?
Yeah, it's going to be.
So make sure you get your big TVs and then watch it on the big TV.
Yeah, big deal, guys. I'm seriously thinking about inviting everyone over to my house to watch that game. And by everyone, I mean you guys.
The 3 friends you have.
Yeah.
Invite Aaron. We should invite Aaron.
And then on November 29th, U.S. will play Iran. And so, yeah, those are the 3 group games. England's going to be the biggest, hardest one. And it's on Black Friday, so it should be super fun and exciting. Guys, please join in. It's going to be a lot of fun. I don't know. Maybe should I do like a live thing?
Like a live feed tweet of the World Cup?
Yeah.
Yeah. The Always More. Do we have a Twitter?
Yes, we do.
The Always More football.
The Always
Is
More
what you
live
should
tweets.
Call it.
Yeah. All right, I'll think
But
about
spell it F-U-T.
Yeah.
Football?
B-O-L.
Yeah.
The right way.
All right, guys. On that note, I believe it is time to wrap up our show. So thank you all again for listening to our podcast. Be sure to subscribe, like, share, and leave a 5-star rating on all your favorite podcast platforms. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook at Always More Pod. Chris, where can we find you?
I am on Instagram at Captain_CT Ford and on TikTok as Christopher.Lionheart.
Harley, what about you?
You can find me on Instagram at WhatHarley, W-U-T Harley, and on TikTok at HarleyBean.co.
Hey, and then you can find me on pretty much everything at Tim Lichty. That's Liechty. Thank you again for listening, for being a part of the conversation. And remember, there's always more than this. Bye, everybody.
Deuces.
Thank you for listening to the Always More podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe, share, like, and rate on whatever your platform of preference is. You can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook at Always More Pod. If you'd like to submit a question, you can ask us on any of our social media platforms, or you can leave us a voicemail at 254-218-4042. If you'd like to feed into our caffeine addiction as well as support the podcast financially, you can do so at buymeacoffee.com/alwaysmorepod. For further information and to contact us, you can email us at alwaysmorepodcast@gmail.com.